nating lahat. Stop proper test for the subject assessment of Learning 1. You're now in Lesson 13, titled Grading Systems, Reporting and Rapid Check, Grading Policies. And for the learning outcomes of the lesson, we take responsible for this one, end of the lesson. Hopefully, all of you guys can do the following. Example, interpret grading criteria and standards accurately hanggang sa dulo, computing quarterly and final grades following official method guidelines. And for the topics for today are the list. There's the list. Why grading matters, components of the grading system, how grades are computed, common challenges, grading systems in DepEd and CHED, variations in grading across different universities, different schools, the impact of grading students' roles, common challenges, in grading system, and grading policies, and reporting. So those are the topics and the learning outcomes. Let's go. Start grading is essential for providing feedback, motivation, and tracking student progress. We know from the start, started grade school, high school, university. We know that mga purpose, of course, for assessing your performance, but not only that, grading is done for feedback mechanism. Grading is done for motivation, aside from knowing your strength and weaknesses, of course, for improvement. And for the faculty, mababa yung majority incur a low grade, got a low grades. Faculty may improve or should improve kanyang mga sample lessons, maybe the curriculum, syllabus. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang isa yung purpose natin ng grading. It's one way of motivating the students. Pag mataas na kuhang grades, they can be motivated. And components of the grading system. So, different institutions have different components, but most of the schools, universities have written works to assess sample testing quizzes, also performance tasks, sample practical applications, dramatization, showcasing skills, and pag sa mga high school, they have the quarterly assessment. Pag sa mga tertiary level students, they have the prelim exam, the midterm, the final exam. Sometimes you also have the pre-final exam. Yung mga common, but the breakdown, the percentages may change, but most of the time, ito yung mga tatlong mga common na kita natin sa mga grading system. Grading periods explained. Pag sa mga high school, the school year is divided into four quarters. Na example, pag sa ating school, sa BMC, yung first sem is the first and the second quarter, while the second sem is the third and fourth quarter. So, sa school year, ganun ang breakdown natin sa apat na quarterly. Sa mga university students naman, isang sem, yun talaga yung grade nila. No? Really midterm and finals. Second sem naman, ganun din. And sometimes may mga schools na mayroon silang they are on tri-sem basis. Such as ako university, tri-sem sila bawat isang school year. And how grades are computed. Components weighting, it depends on the institution if what percentage will be given. Later on, I'm going to show different grading system na ginagawa na they have different weight. Example, written works account for 40% of the final grades and pro performance is 20%. Then 30% yung pinaka periodical exam or final exam. And to compute the final grade, teachers sum the weighted scores from all components. Example, a student got 100% sa isang component like written works. So, ito multiply natin ng 40. And for example, in the performance, you got 90% in the dance skills, for example. Multiply natin ng 20%. Or can be 30, no? And if a student got example 85 sa final exam, you multiply that by the weight na 30% or sometimes 40%, depending on the university. The importance of computation, accurate grade computation ensures fairness and transparency. So, we are computing the grades, although we are using example Microsoft Excel, dino-double check pa rin natin para accurate kasi sometimes pag mali yung formula na nakalagay sa Excel, mali rin yung yung output. So, i-double check kasi especially pag yung template na binigay sa atin, tapos that is to be used by all the colleges, no, or department. Tapos hindi natin na-edit. So, mali na yung output. So, make it sure na accurate yung yung computation kasi mga bata ay pag nakita yan tapos mali yung computation or your formula, so parang lasting impression na yun, no? Right away, they will think meron kang bias or favoritism. So we always double check, no? Or we ask somebody to check, we ask our peer to check kung accurate na yung mga computation. So yung as record, for example. Okay, ito naman ay pa sa ating rubrics, meron tayong ganitong ginagamit, no? The rating scale. Sample 1 to 1.5 sa mga performance, task na subjective. Kasi pag multiple choice naman yung sagot or true or false, objective naman yun. Pero mga performance, at you're going to grade them excellent, very good, satisfactory, it's improvement, or failure. So, meron tayong range na ginagamit like a Likert scale, tulad dito. 1 to 1.5 is excellent. So, pag bumaba example, depends on the standard. Kung needs improvement ba ay yan, talagang bukan yung bata. Or you are asking, you want that all of them will get excellent or very good. Pag satisfactory, dahil nakuha, medyo mababa na yan. It depends on your standard. Minimum passing grade. So, we know this one, no? Na may mga schools na 75% ang passing. Or 75% yung percentage, pero yung grade niya, test pa rin. In other schools naman, I have this school, I have this university. Ang test nila ay equivalent to 64.5. So, ang passing is 64.5. Ibang school ko naman, ang test ay 75%. Ang school ko, 64.5% passing. So, medyo mataas yung standard pag zero-based. No? Kasi 64.5. This is mahirap. Mahirap sang mahabol. Mahirap sa makuha. Kasi dati, if you have a 20 item na exam, pag naka-10 ka pa lang 10 out of 20, that is 75, no? Pasado yan. Pero ngayon kasi, pag ginamit natin zero-based, pag yung 10 ay dinivide mo ng 20, 50% lang yan, so bagsak. Samantalang dati, if you got 10, that is 75%. Ibig sabihin nga, pag nagkukuha ka ng 12 out of 20, bagsak pa rin. Pag nagkukuha ka ng 13 out of 20, that is 65. So, pasado na. So, if you will compare, dati, pag 10 ang nakuha mo, pasado. Ngayon, pag sa zero base, pag nakuha mo out of 20, bagsak. So, mas mahirap kunin yung zero base. Common challenges, computation errors, grade computation errors can lead to confusion among students and parents. May mga time, no, na nagkakamali ng isang teacher, bali in code. Yung mga challenge, sa dami ng mga students or press records. So, hindi mo na pwedeng isa-isahin lahat. So, on my part, what I'm doing is random. I will check the formula nung pinakaunang line. You check the formula nung sa middle line. You check the formula dun sa last line. I'm talking about Excel, no? Kasi pag inisa-isa mo lahat yan, example, you have 50 students, one section. Pag inisa-isa mo yung formula, matagal yun, no? Pag marami kang sections. Yung ginagawa ko yung una, yung gitna, tapos yung last na line sa Excel, rows ng Excel para ma-check randomly tama yung formula na ginamit. Kasi minsan pag nagka-copy paste ka, nagkakamali yung formula eh. Another common challenge, the misunderstanding. Understanding of grading criteria may cause anxiety. So, what you are doing is at the start of the SEM or the grading period, we roll out the mga criteria. Yan ang una nang dinidiscuss sa mga learners natin. The grading criteria, the breakdown, the composition of the grades, aside from the mission vision of the school grading system, no? Ilalatag natin sa kanila. Para at least alam nila yung mga target na kanilang gagawin. And another challenge, student stress. The pressure of grades can contribute to students' stress. Carrying a growth mindset can help students focus on learning rather than solely on their scores. Importante, may matutunan sa yung bata, no? Kahit parang a little thing of everything, no? Hindi naman lahat ay magaling. But for the teachers, goal natin is may matutunan sila, no? Kahit yung grade ay, of course, the grades are important, but kahit hindi masyadong mataas yung grade, pero may natutunan naman sila kahit konti. Tips for teachers and parents. Clearly communicate grading criteria. Ayan, sinasabi ko kanina, no, na we roll out the criteria. Yung breakdown ba, example, meron palang component yung participation, recitation. Pag alam ng bata yan, they should be reciting all the time. Engage in regular discussion about student progress. So, important mayroong mga consultation hours ng mga teachers para sa yung mga academically academically poor na mga students. Depende magpa-consult sa atin. Parang clinic hours natin. And important ng mga feedback, we give them the feedback and so that we can even improve. Kasi nagbigay ng 30 ng first grading, 70%. O pag sa bata, 70, mababa talaga yun, bagsak na. Pero pag second grading, naka-75 siya, we don't concentrate on the 75. We concentrate on yung increase na 5% from 70 to 75%. So, matutuwa yung bata dyan, no? So, we don't emphasize yung 75%. We emphasize na siya ay nakakuha dati ng 70 at ngayon nakakuha ng 75. i-emphasize that to the students. Improvement yan. Grading systems in chat. Sa mga schools, no? May mga schools na gumagamit ng 1 to 5. May mga schools naman na ang pinakamataas ay 1. May mga schools ang pinakamataas ay 4. So, minsan, pag nakuha ng 4, kala mo bagsak. Kaya pag nag-submit ka ng transcript of records, nakalagay doon sa transcript yung grading system ng university. Para alam nila yung system. Kasi kalagay sa grade mo, 4. Kala ng isang HR na nag-hire yung 4 ay mababa. Sabihin school kasi ang 4 ang pinakamataas. Yung 1 ang pinakamababa. But most of the time, 1 kaya nga mga may sinasabi yung flat 1, di ba? Flat 1. Sabihin, so, most of the schools are using this. Sabihin, magaling. Flat 1. In one of my schools, we are also using the letter grades. But not only the A, no? Pag A kasi parang masyadong malawak, hindi mo alam kung sinong A ang pinakamagaling. Kaya yung ibang school ginagawa, A+, not A, tapos A minus. Example, 97 to 100, A+. 94 to 96, flat A. Tapos 91 to 94, 92 to 94, or 91 to 93, rather, that is A minus. Then B+, B, then B minus. C+, C, then C minus. Para ma-distinguish natin na hindi lang A. Kundi meron tayong A+, A flat, tapos A minus. So we can distinguish, no, kung sino mas pinakamagaling dun sa tatlong nakakuha ng A. Pa naman ay percentage, no? Example, 64.5 bagsak. Pa naman, 75% ay pasado. Sa ibang school, 64.5 ay bagsak. Sa ibang school naman, 64.5% is pasado. Mga high schoolers, mga senior high school, ganun percentage. Understanding grade calculation methods, grading policy encompasses various components, attendance. May mga schools na hindi masyadong counted yung attendance. Example sa grad school, attendance hindi masyadong counted eh. Sa grad school, siyempre, mga estudyante ay mga working. Example ng class mo ay Sabado. Students are working on a Saturday, so they can't attend talaga. So we don't put more premium on the attendance for sa grad school. Instead, sa grad school, we focus on the output. Example, exams, projects, requirements, participations. Grad school, wala masyadong quizzes eh. Pero sa undergrad, sa tertiary level, siyempre, we have the quizzes, exams, projects, and participation. Attendance din. Sa high school naman, talagang very common yung attendance. We put premium on the attendance pag mga senior high schoolers. And bawat component, example, attendance, sige, 10% lang yan. Quizzes, 40. Major exams ang pinakamatas minsan. Sometimes major exam, 50%. Tapos quizzes, 30. Tapos kasi standing, 20%. So walang kasamang attendance. Pag school naman, major exam is only 40%. So ito yung sample ng mga aking mga schools variations in grading across institution sa BMC. Ito sa atin, pag high school, ang kanyang breakdown. Kasi pag high schooler, ano yun eh, first quarter, second quarter, yun ang percent. Then second sem, the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. So bawat sem may dalawang quarters. And bawat quarters, ito yung breakdown. Example, first quarter, written works ay 25%. Ang performance ay 45%. Yung quarterly assessment o yung pinaka-final exam during a quarter is 30. Yung written works, naka-breakdown pa rin siya. Yung 25% na written works, naka-breakdown pa rin siya into activities, book works, sheet works, that is 40%. Yung quizzes, part of written, mas mataas yung percentage ng quizzes. Itong dalawang to, yan ang nag-post ng written works sa estudyante. For the performance task naman, kanilang class participation like recitation, that is 40%. Yung meron silang PETA, itong pinaka-project nila, no? Performance project nila. That is 60%. Itong dalawang to, it composes the performance task na 45% siya. And the written quarterly assessment. May mga subject na wala ng written. Example, pag research ang subject mo, wala siyang written wala siyang quarterly. But they just have to submit, defend kanilang mga research. Ganun sa case analysis din, no written exam, but you should defend and submit kanilang mga final manuscript case analysis. Overall, we add all the three, written plus performance plus quarterly, that should be 100%. And that is your final grades sa first quarter. Second quarter naman, so panibagong ganito rin. Siyempre, pag sa ibang institution, sample sa tertiary level, they handle tertiary level din. Example, ito naman, UCU. Tertiary level. So, iba naman yung kanyang breakdown, no? Bawat term, ano na kasi doon midterm and finals lang. Dalawang terms lang sa isang SEM. Ibang school ko naman, isang SEM ay tatlo. The prelim, the midterm, and the finals. Pero dito sa atin sa BMC, 4. The prelim, the midterm, the pre-finals, and the finals. So, bawat term, pinitin ka ng breakdown. Example, prelim grades is composed of homework, is 5%. Quizzes, that is 30. Activities, 25. Participation plus participation, that is 20. The output projects, 20. So pag inad mo lahat ito, it composed the class standing. Class standing, yun ang breakdown. Class standing is 60% of the total prelim grade. And yung another 40%, it goes to the midterm exam or the prelim exam or the final exam, that is the 40%. Okay, so class standing plus midterm plus major exam is equal to the midterm exam, prelim midterm grades. So pwede isang prelim exam, pwedeng midterm exam, pwedeng prelim final exam, and the final exam. So this should be midterm, this should be midterm, should be midterm grade, not midterm exam. Grade equivalencies, numeric grades, says 1 to 5, reflect a student's performance. So lower numbers indicate better results. So ibang school, mas mababa yung number mo. Example, 1. Pinakamababang number 1. So it means you're good. You have a better result. So the system allows for precise evaluation and comparison across various academic subjects. Another reason why you have the grading system is for comparison. Then pwede namang, aside from the numeric grades, mga subjects na descriptive level ang nilalagay natin. Example, excellent passing and failure. So, example, I handled NSTP before in one school, maybe 20 years ago. Ang grade mo sa subject ay it's either pass lang, passed or failed. NSTP, ganun ang grading niya, no? Passed or failed. Problem dito, hindi natin masyadong malalaman kung sino mga estudyante natin. So, meron pa rin siyang grade, grade equivalent. Pero pag submit ng ating mga grading grade sheet, pag NSTP yung subject, passing and failure lang. At least when I was handling, when I was handling the subject. If you want to monitor, so we will go back again doon sa kanilang pinaka-grade. Equivalent. The impact of grades and students. Grades plays a crucial role in determining students' academic standing. Tama natin yung sinong pinaka magaling, the most intelligent guy in the class, the reason, sample for scholarship. At as ang binigay mong grade minsan, pero minsan naghahanap pa rin dagdag. Ang reason kasi not only the grade, but not only for the assessment, but for scholarship. May hinahabol silang mga grades. Or pwede namang ulit sa isang estudyante, sir, pwede bang taasan na ng konti yung kanyang grade. O bakit naman kasi pagtungtong ko sa college, makitang scholar ako sa high school, pagtungtong ko sa college, may discount. Yan, so meron silang opportunity. Scholarship kasi, siyempre, maintenance ng grade habang nag-aaral kasi sa university. Kaya may mga grades din na habol para pagtungtong ng college, mataas yung kanilang grades at makaka-discount sila sa ibang mga universities. Ayan, mga journey, yung mga estudyante. This one is a trivia. 75%, that is the number now. 75% of the students is according to one study. 75 out of 100 to 75. Out of 100, for example, 75 sa kanila feel that grading lacks fairness. Survey, hindi daw fair. Ang mababa naman talaga nakuha mo, example. Marami sa kanila nakukuha ng mababa, siyempre isipin na hindi talaga fair, Pero paano pag lahat yung lahat nagkakuha ng mababa, talagang mag-iisip yun, fair. Kasi magsasabi lang siguro ng fair, yung mga nakakuha ng mataas. Yung pinakamataas. Hindi lang naman sila, nakakuha ng mataas. So, mas marami yung reklamo para magsabing hindi fair. Reason, walang transparency. Dapat meron daw transparency. So, pwede ipakita yung mga grades. Sa mga university naman, bawat end ng midterm example, nakukuha nila yung grade. So, if you can show your class record to them for transparency. Dapat nga, di ba, meron tayong rubrics para consistent ang evaluation methods na ating ginagawa. Especially pag mga exam natin ay performance task, subjective type, essay type, experiments, rubrics. Innovative grading approaches, implementing continuous assessment for improved student feedback. Tayo may assessment na. We always look at the feedback of the students para mag-improve tayo. Using online grading portals for real-time grade access. Example, dito sa MS Team, submit assignment, so paid agad. So, kita ka agad, Kapag nagpa-exam ka sa MS Team, may merong option. Kapag sinakal mo, show right away to the student So yung pagka-check mo talagang mag-i-email sa'yo yung result ng exam. Puwede namang i-unclick 'yun 'no, ibig sabihin pagka-check, di kaagad ipapakita sa mga students yung result kasi ino-double check mo pa. Yung ginawa ng MS Team at ginawa ng, um, Google Form. Creating the rubrics that enhance assignment transparency. So we have been talking about rubrics before na important talaga sa atin. So we should always have rubrics. So we don't uh, fall back on giving rubrics, almost automatic. Meron tayong mga rubrics. Example, nag-defense, nag-experiment, nag-performance. Importance of reporting grades. So after computing the grade based on the system, it is now time to report. Reporting of grades. Accurate and timely grade reporting is essential as it directly affects students, parents, and school, fostering transparency, trust. Ano bang sinasabi ng grades? The learning got by gotten by the students, guiding improvements and celebrating achievements. Na nagre-report. Pag sa high school kasi 'no, secondary ko dati, first year high school ako, ang kumuha ng grades yung father ko. Nalalaman niya bagsak. And of course, guiding improvements, no? Then report to the parents na celebratory. Uy, mataas nakuha ng anak mo, no? So, congratulations. And of course, for compliance, example, compliance sa CHED, compliance sa DepEd. O dati, nung grade sa mga NSTP students, grade ay napasa din sa I forgot kung ano yung institution ng government. Doon namin sa CHED din yata. Doon namin sinasubmit yung mga grades sa mga estudyante sa NSTP. Forgot ko kung anong institution kasi matagal ako nag-handle ng NSTP more than 20 years ago. Components of grades, ito ay we have taken this sa ating previous lesson. We have been reiterating mga klase ng assessment na I know this is always shown in the board examination. Formative assessment, kahit yung mga while the subject is ongoing, kahit ongoing feedback habang ongoing yung klase, yung subject, you do formative assessment. Pag-diagnostic before the school year, no, or at the start of the school year, diagnostic assessment. Formative, ongoing. Pag summative, ito yung ginagawa natin at the end of the school year, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the semester. And then quarterly din tayo, ito mo sa mga high schoolers, mga senior high schoolers na isang example, first sem ay June to October. First sem yun. So, sa loob ng isang sem may dalawang quarter. So, dalawa ang quarter exam. Tapos, ang second sem naman, for the high schooler, we start November to March. Second sem yun. Second sem, meron ding dalawang quarterly assessment. So, it checks the progress throughout the year, providing insights for teachers and parents. Pag high school kasi may mga parent-teacher meeting. Steps to report grades. To collect the scores. The first step involves gathering all the scores from various assessment like quizzes, class standing, participation, project sheet works, Then, if may project minsan, may recitation, final exam. Then we calculate the grades based on the weights. Naman automatic naman 'to na pag-encode mo sa ano, minsan naman naka-formula naman yung mga ano, eh, mga grades, eh. Sabihin binibigyan ng school yung template. Encode mo na lang yung mga grades nila then automatically, the template will be the one who will compute for percent yung weight. Multiply ka agad sa weight. Kaya lang sinasabi ko kanina, eh, make it sure na tama yung formula kasi example, may nabawas na column, kamali yung formula. Encode them into the system correctly, tama encoding pero ang formula yung mali. So mali pa rin yung ano kasi kaya minsan sinasabi kaninang randomly check yung formula kasi punta ka minsan, eh, ang baba ng overall grade ng isang estudyante. Samantalang yung components naman ay matataas. May na-encode ka sigurong ano, may na-encode kang mali. Example, yung total siguro instead of 50 lang, yung total nagawa mong ano, 100. So bababa talaga yung ano, yung overall grade. Then you submit the report. So pag sa high school, I submit my grade sheet to the program head to the principal. Pag sa university naman, so we submit our grades. Sinesend muna namin sa program head para pag na-check yan ng walang mali, so i-print na. Kasi ang sinasubmit namin i-print hard copy to the program head. Yung program head will sign, then the dean will sign, then we submit dun sa IT department ng university. So iba-iba yung ano, no? Minsan naman yung soft copy sa program ito lang isasubmit lang pag high school. Bahala na sa kung saan isasubmit yun. Sa university, we are the one who will submit our soft copy papunta sa IT. So ini-encode ng IT sa portal yung grades, yung soft copy namin. Using the template given by the IT. Roles in reporting grades. Tayo, mga teachers are responsible for accurately recording. So double check palagi. Recording and encoding. All assessments are documented. So soft copy naman. Then pag submit ng print copy, receive dapat ng IT department o registrar. Kasi example sa government, pero time din, may deadline, no? Pag government schools, may state U, local universities, deadline importante yan. So dapat stamp na receive nila yung grade sheet para timely. Otherwise, ma-memo, no? And also the school heads like the program head, the dean, coordinator, the principal, validate and approve grades, pero they oversee. So, they oversee the process. Pero hindi naman lahat na ma-check, no? Kaya, minsan nag-random checking din sila. Example, nag-submit sa program, nag-submit sa dean, they do random checking din. Hindi man sinecheck kasi masyadong matrabaho yan. But example, yung pinaka-last row will be double check. Tama. And of course, the parents plays crucial role in monitoring your children. So, nabasa ko may napanood kanina ako sa YouTube. Kaya pag-iilan ng teacher yung isang parent. Yung parent yata nagrereklamo bakit daw pinapabayaan anak niya. Sabi ng teacher, hindi naman lahat ng oras babantay ng teacher ang ginagawa ng bata. So, responsibility pa ng mga parents na tutukan yung mga bata. So, parents have role, crucial role, monitor yung kanilang mga ginagawa, academic progress. Di ka sinecheck ng parent, no? Although the teachers are been checking the improvement ng grades ng isang bata, iba kayong parents, hindi. Dapat kasama din mga parents monitoring. And they should also know yung grading system. I mean, the parents should also know the grading system. Kaya may mga, sa high school, kaya at the start of some of school year, may meeting, the PTA, di ba? Or pwede naman per class ang meeting para masabi ng advisor yung pinaka-grading system. Common challenges in grade reporting, teachers often face obstacles, mga obstacles and grade submission on the part of the program head, no? Or the dean, late mag-submit yung isa bang mga teachers, ibang faculty. Kahit mabigyan na ng allowance, example, ang totoong submission is March 10, example. March 10 ang totoong submission. Ang ginawa ng iba, inaagahan March 8 para magbigay ng allowance. Magbigay sila ng allowance sa 2 days. O March 8 ang submission. Pero actually March 10, di ba? March 8. Okay, so may malilit mag-submit. March 10 nakapag-submit, di okay pa rin. Kasi March 10 naman talaga yung yung submission. Pwede ring data errors, no? Eh, may mag-glitch din minsan sa tulad dati nagsubmit ako ng grades through USB. O yung aking USB, okay na okay dito pag sa bahay, sa laptop. Pagdating doon, hindi na mabasa yung aking USB. Buti na lang dala ko yung aking laptop. So, nag-encode ulit ako. Best practices, double check entries. And that is my, that is, dito. Ito yung aking method methodology, double check entries. Double check or pinapacheck sa mga kasama mo. Reason mistakes can lead to serious misunderstanding. Tama, yung grade, nagkamali, pero hindi ikaw. Tama yung coding mo eh. Nagkamali yung formula. So instead of 95, hindi mo na double check, no? May mali pala sa formula, alwas sa grade, 85. Tama lang yung coding mo, nagtataka bakit ganun ang pinaka-total. Tapos naman yung aking binibigay na grade, but expect yung 95, pero 85. Ano yan? May formula sa Excel na hindi mo na-edit siguro. Ito naman ginagawa ng mga schools, na they roll out, they will give to the faculty yung pinaka-template. Meron na siyang mga formula, so mag-encode na lang yung teacher. Problem dito minsan, nagbigay sila ng template, hindi siya na-edit, hindi siya editable. So, hingin pa yung password dun sa IT para ma-edit yung form. Kasi na-standardize, no? Para consistent, para lahat captured, para isang template lang, no? Isang template na gagamitin pag submit sa IT, i-download na ng IT. Pero minsan, no? Pag meron kang tinanggal doon, tapos nag-delete ka ng column, so mali na yung formula mo. And of course, communicate regularly. Keep an open line of communication with students and parents. Update, no? Masipag ibang program head namin mag-update. When it comes to the template, yung aming din, masipag lahat mag-update kung may bagong template na papagamit. And of course, meeting. Grade reporting basics. Understanding how grades are submitted in CHED. Periodic submissions. College and universities are required to submit grades periodically sa CHED. Timely updates. Standardized forms ginagamit para pagdating doon, download na lang. Tulad sa mga schools din, standard yung form template na ginagamit. And compliance requirements, strict deadlines and compliance requirements are set by CHED. Ensure schools are accountable sa mga grades na submit and transparent sa grade na sinasubmit. And wala sa submit na yan, siyempre, no, hindi mo na pwedeng baguhin. Pag sa school level pa lang, nagkamali ka, no, pwede pa kung baguhin. Pero pag nakarating sa CHED, sabi ng school, sa home school, no, sa NEO de Cagayan. I can recall graduate school students, mga 100 ko ng mga doctoral. Meron silang memo doon na pag nasubmit na sa CHED, regional office doon sa Cagayan. I forgot, parang marami kang explanation or attachment na gagawin. Para mabago lang, you will justify. Kaya grading scales, itong sinasabi kanina, no, I have mentioned this earlier, different scales, mayroong mga schools na using numeric, at 1 to 5, 4, 5, bagsak. 1 is the highest grade. Iba naman 1 to 4. Ibang school, 4 is the highest, 1 is the lowest. And may letter grades din, no? A to F. A is the A plus, the highest. F means failed, ang pinakamababa. So A plus, A minus, B plus, B minus, C plus, C minus. Letter D means drop. INC, incomplete. Of course, may IP. Pag IP, pag ang sabi ng research, di ba research matagal siyang matapos. May grade na IP bibigyan sa'yo. Pag hindi mo natapos ang research, IP. That is in progress. Tatapusin mo yung research mo within 1 year. And of course, the letter F, failed. Typically, grade of 3 or higher is considered passing, that is 75% equivalent, while grades below indicates areas needing improvement or failure in the future subjects. That is grading scales. Grading scales from different institutions. And we're moving on step-by-step process. Faculty submission. Ito yung mga itong ginagawa sa school. The teacher will submit grades or sometimes isang subject, isang file. May mga schools naman na isang file, lahat ng subject nandoon na. Parang meron ka lang sa Excel file, isang school, isang Excel file lang, example, 5 subjects, isang Excel file lang. Basta meron siyang different sheet sa ilalim. May mga schools naman na isang subject, isang Excel file pinapasubmit. Minsan isasubmit sa program head and the dean. Tawag na rin sa registrar or IT and registrar. Sa isang university, submit the grade sa registrar. After signing by the dean, submit to the registrar. Sa namang university, after signing by the dean, sa IT muna yung punta at yung IT ang bahala mag-submit sa registrar. Of course, the CHED receives the compiled reports, ensuring that all institutions adhere to established guidelines, format, template. Challenges in grade reporting, late submissions ng mga teachers. Kaya pag sa government, late submission o yung payroll mo, late din. Super late. Memo na. Dili lang isang araw. Kaya ibang ginagawa ng mga school, no? Bibigyan sila ng allowance. Ang sinasabi kaninang deadline is March 10. Hindi nila, ang deadline ay March 8. Para may buffer dun sa mga sasabit ng talagang late. Kasi pag nagsabi ka ng deadline is March 10, magsasabit yung iba March 11, late na, di ba? Sinasabi, March 8. Para may allowance. So, data entry errors can compromise the integrity, grade reporting. Saka na magkamali, no? Pero last impression lasts. Miscommunication issues between departments often leads to misunderstanding. Kaya ang submission the IT should properly coordinate with the deans. Kasi yung example sa isang school, the template will come from the IT department. So, nadidiri yung mga faculty kasi wala pa yung template from the IT department. Effective strategies for improved grade reporting, timely reminders, memo. Mga government schools talagang maraming memo sila about everything, about grade encoding, grade submission, use of templates, bagong grading systems. So far naman, reliable ang aming mga template na ginagamit. Parang throughout my stay sa university, counting like 8 years, parang isang beses lang ako nagka-glitch in using the template. So, dependable, reliable the communications. Ito yung chat grading skill overview. So, we know this one, 135. No? Pag uno, magaling. Flat 1. Pag 3, mababa. Pag 5, yan. Diplomatic eh, 5. 5, eh, pa di ba minsan mga estudyante ka, si 5 ako niyan eh. Or flat 1 ako dyan. Iba naman is A+. I get an A. I get an F. Mga American universities parang AF. Ito ang ginagamit. Kaya pag letter, sa pag letter, parang dito, confusion, will create confusion. Ikaw yung prop, di ba? Pag A lahat ay A. Pag grading ay A, pag ang grading ay ABC. Parang mas malawak yung mas broad ang scope ng 1, 125, 15, 175, 2, 25. Di ba? Mas may boundary kaysa mga letter grades ang ating ginagamit. Pero yung F kasi, ang maganda naman sa letter, yung F, masyadong traumatic. Yeah? May sinabing, ilan nakuha mo F? Hindi lahat ay alam yung ibig sabihin ng F. Samantalang ibig sabihin ng F ay fail, di ba? Pero iba, hindi alam kung ano ibig sabihin ng F. Isang fasado, di ba? Pero pag numeric kasi, pag sinabing 5, naku, alam ka agad ibig sabihin ng 5. Understanding rounding rules. Round is crucial. Yung ating mga template naman automatic nag-round off siya. Example, a 2.96 is rounded off to 3. Pero dito sa BMC, hindi siya naka-round off eh. Example, ang grading dito, 1, 1.10, 1.20, 1.30, 1.40, 1.50, 1.60, 1.70, ganun. So pag 2.90 ang nakuha mo, sa ibang school, 2.90 is stress. Round off kasi, no? So sa ibang school, 2.90 is 2.90 talaga, hindi siya naka-round off. Example, 1.80. Ibang school, pag ni-round off yun, ano na yun? Pinakamalapit, 1.75. Sa ibang school, may grade talaga 1.80. Example, dito sa atin, may grade talagang 1.8. May grade na 2.10, 1.10. Pag school kasi, pag 1.10, round off, flat 1. Dito sa atin, may grade talagang 1.10. Grading components, overview, yung mga usually ginagawa natin, di ba? We have exams to make sure yung kanyang overall understanding ng buong material sa ginagamit. Isang quarter, for example. Quiz are being used naman, provide quick assessment ng isang lesson, isang araw. Project naman yung application, creativity ng kanyang skills sa paggawa ng isang project. In attendance, yung kanyang commitment to attend, kahit di siya masyadong magaling, but committed siyang attend araw-araw. Talagang gustong matuto yung student. That's why we have the attendance. Pero sabi ko kanina, no? Sa grad school, walang attendance eh. In participation, ito yung kanyang active engagement, yung kanyang confidence sa loob ng klase. May mga estudyante magaling sa quiz pero mahilang confidence, hindi nag-recite. Silang recitation, hindi nagpa-participate sa classroom discussion. Di ba nag-aaral mga estudyante natin? Tatlo yan eh. Native, yung talino, di ba? Tapos emotional, tapos social. Pag mahiyain, mahina ka niyang social. Dapat total education. Tips for the teachers, for the educators, clear to communicate the grading criteria to the students natin. I have been reiterating this one every start of SEM, the school year. We reiterate to them the rubrics na ginagamit natin, the grading system. And we remind them every now and then and apply the biases, apply grading policies across assignments, provide feedback. Don't forget the feedback, the consultation time. Example, after a major exam, kung magklase, mag-consultation muna. Show them the grade, then consult how to improve yung kanilang mga grades. Don't focus on the grades, di ba? Focus on the improvement ng grades. And tips naman for the student success, understand, nilalatag, nire-roll out ang mga teachers nila, the start of the SEM, start of the school year, understand, magtanong, have them a copy of the grading system, and track your grades regularly, no? Don't rely on not, don't be complacent na ikaw ay ipapasa. I-consult kung yung progress ng grades mo. Alam mo sa teachers, no? May consultation time naman sila eh. And of course, seek help from teachers or classmates, peer study. So, maganda mayroong may peer group study session na pag malapit ang exam, nag-overnight sila, mag-aaral sila sabay-sabay. Okay, I think that is my last slide. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening and watching. And maglalambing ulit ako to subscribe sa aking munting channel. And once again, this has been Dr. Cortez signing off. And see you around, guys. Thank you.